Oh, hello! I'm Rick Richard, sometime handyman, sometime coach, but most of the time I just walk around collecting stuff. Like this bottle of beer. It's old, it's called Kootenai, and guess where it's from? Kootenai's. Umpty. Too bad though, right? Of an aged beer like that. I also collected this too, because from 1988 Calgary Olympics kept the tags on to keep its worth vintage. We're going to take a break from building things today, and we're going to talk about language, namely, how to speak the dialect known as Albertan. And we have a different way of speaking out here in Western Canada. They sure do out east. But out here in the West, we have our certain phrases as well that we like to call Albertish. So let's just jump right on into it. So you're coming Alberta and you want to fit right in speaking Albertan with the locals? Well, here's a great way to start. It's called verbal punctuation, and these are two words that are very key to Albertish. And these are the words right, following right is on. On. Right on. Very key two words in Alberta, that's for sure. It would be like if you're going to do a cousin of the Eastern Canadians' way of saying FNA. Let's put that up in the corner. FNA, of course, is a vulgar term, which I don't recommend learning how to say until you're at least over 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? So they would say it like, oh, the Maple Leafs just won the sporting event. FNA. That's how they would say it. So similarly, we say right on. I don't want to diss the Easterners because they're great people, but we like to say right on. I don't think they say it as much out there. So first way of saying right on is at the end of a sentence and saying it's a really good thing that just happened. Like you're here for the Stampede. Someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, we can't go to a family obligation. Maybe a death in the family. Let's not get that deep." But they're like, "Here's 2 free tickets to the finals for the Bulls." You're like, right on. You're very happy. Right on. Or the boss walks up to you at work and he's like, "Hey, you work really hard here. Here's a surprise raise. Dollar bill." You say, right on. Because this is life-changing stuff. Exclamation point, right on. It's right on. Number 2. As more of a let's put a period here and a little exclamation mark. It's more of a solid thing. Like if your mom realizes that you haven't eaten anything real except for pizza pops in the last week, so she brings over a casserole that you don't really like too much because it's full of peas, but she brought it for you and now you're not going to go hungry. You're like, right on. You know, this is a profound right on. It covers 2 bases. Right on. You're very happy about it. Number 3 would be, let's put a comma and then a dot 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 after. This is a way to use right on to get out of conversations that you don't really want to be into, like your buddy who's going through marital problems and he likes to tell you about it. So he's like, "So I went home last night, there's like, I could smell another cologne in there, and all of a sudden the dog's not fed, so I'm like trying to feed the dog, I don't want it to die." And you're like, right on, right on, right on. So you're just trying to get out of the conversation. So if he's not picking up on the right ons, maybe it's time to just turn heel and boot scoot right the F out the door. Number 4, let's go with how not to ever use the 2 words right on. And this would be as like a question. It's never a question. Right on is never a question. Don't forget. So if someone says, "Oh, my aunt just died," and you're like, right on, it's not right on. It's right, I guess there would be equivalent of right off, which doesn't exist unless you're spelling it like this with a WRITEOFF. Then, of course, a right off. If it's a 96 Intrepid, let's write that on the board here, then all of a sudden it becomes a right on. A right off is definitely almost always a right on if you're driving, like say something you don't really want to be driving. So let's recap real quick. Here, right on can be, "Hey man, here's a free pair of jeans, right on!" Because they're the ones you've been looking for a long time. They taper at the heel, slides right into the boots, you know what I'm saying? Or number 2 would be like, "I shoveled your walk, right on." I mean, that'd almost be a right on, but it's a right on because you paid the guy $5. And here's number 3, right on, right on. Let's just go recap, right on, right on. And never use it as a question because right on is never a question. I'm Rick Richard. I hope you learned a little bit about right on today. And maybe next time you can join, we'll go a little bit more into Albertish. Right on.